Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. What's going on, everyone? Hit that thumbs up for me. What is going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? What in the world are the Cincinnati Reds doing? Are they just getting rid of everyone? And now they're maybe going to get rid of Luis Castillo. That's unbelievable to me. We're going to get into that tonight. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it.
Wake up the Don Bambino and have me face him. Maybe I'll drill him in the ass.
And what is going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? Alrighty, we got about 30 people in the chat so far. We're off to a good start tonight. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. Jackson is here. What is going on, Jackson? JH Sports, hello, hello. Kira Owens, Drew Venny, Lewis Foster, Ryan Jansen, PLB with MLB News. What is going on? Hope you're well, my friend. THP Knob, hello, hello. Brandon Zielinski PT, what is going on? How you doing? John Baker, Faraz Nazir, hello. Big boy, what is going on? I see that Mr. Met logo there. Got a Mets fan in the chat. Hopefully the calf neck army does not attack us tonight. Orioles 2041 world champions, what is going on? Alrighty. So yeah. Well, this is usually not a night where I will do some streaming for some baseball news. Usually I like to take the weekend off, but I saw this going on today, and I just figured, I mean, we got to talk about it tonight. This won't be too long of a stream tonight, since there's only really one thing to talk about. But what we are going to talk about are the Cincinnati Reds supposedly putting Luis Castillo on the trade block, which that is just nuts to me. I don't know. Luis Castillo, he's got a few more years left of control. That's crazy to me. But if the Reds really are trying to do a bit of a reset here, then trading a Luis Castillo, no matter what, you're going to get a massive haul for this guy. This guy is one of the better pitchers in the league. He ranks in the top 10% in most categories. And we're going to break down Luis Castillo. But let's actually just get right to it. Hold on. Let me get this music turned off. Do I have the music turned off? There we go. Music's turned off. All right. So, like I said, the big news for tonight, Luis Castillo on the block. So, again, with the Reds, you know, it looks like they're trying to do a reset. Sonny Gray's been on the block. They're not bringing back Trevor Bauer. There was a couple of weird non-tenders that they made. I don't know what is going on. There's Cincinnati. If you're a Cincinnati fan right now, you cannot be too happy. So you had a Reds team that was looking really good coming into this season, and there was a lot of promise with this Reds team. They added a couple of good pieces last offseason. You added a Shogo Akiyama. You added a Mike Moustakas. You added a Nick Castellanos. That rotation was really good. You had Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, Luis Castillo. And Luis Castillo, before the season started, I said Luis Castillo really could be a bit of a breakout guy. This year, you could see his name in the Cy Young conversations. Didn't quite get to that top level, but Luis Castillo, only 27 years old. There is a lot of promise with this guy. And it looks like the Reds, they are just going in a completely different direction at the moment. So, I don't know, which is crazy to me because of the offseason that they had last year. They looked like they were putting together a pretty decent competitor in the National League. And now that is just all going down the toilet, it seems. So, but let's give credit to where it is due. The first person to report on this, let me share the screen. So it was John Heyman. So here he is saying Luis Castillo as well as Sonny Gray. We talked about Sonny Gray the other night. We came up with some trade ideas for Sonny Gray. Is being discussed in trades. Asks are appropriately high for young frontline starters. The Reds went for it last winter and were rewarded with a playoff spot, but the belt tightening this winter is clear. I could sit here and rant all day on the Reds. You had yourselves quite a team, and maybe you needed a couple more pieces, but I guess the financial struggle is real. I'm not really, I don't know. I don't know what exactly is going on there. I mean, I guess they really got hit bad with the whole pandemic. But if you are able to trade a Luis Castillo, which I think is crazy, because if we go take a look at Luis Castillo, he's not a free agent until 2024. Let me actually see how much, let's see, Luis Castillo, has he been, what was he making? Okay. So this year, man, he only made $4.4 million. That's nuts, man. He's got 2 more years. He's got 3 more years left. And this year he's only making $4.4 million. That is, so it's not like the Reds are going to be saving a ton of money. So I don't know. I can't help but wonder if the Reds really are like fully serious about this. I wonder if it's just, hey, we're listening to offers on Sonny Gray. Why not take a look? Why not listen to some offers on Luis Castillo too? We could get you would get a haul for Luis Castillo. And we're going to go over some trade possibilities here in a second, but you are going to get a ton for this guy. So in a way, I'm not surprised. If this is true, I'm not surprised to see the Reds, having some conversations with some teams, because you would get most likely, you're going to get already some young major league talent. You're going to definitely get some really good prospects. You're going to get a bag for Luis Castillo. There is no doubt about that. So with Luis Castillo, if we go take a look at the stats real quick, Luis Castillo, the guy's out of his mind. Very good. Very good season this year for Luis Castillo. We'll get to Baseball Savant here in a second to really break down those advanced metrics. But a very solid season for Luis Castillo. A 3.21 ERA, 89 strikeouts in 70 innings. Goodness gracious. FIP. But look at the FIP here. 2.65. That is definitely lower than that ERA. So that's already a good sign. The walks, a smidge heavy on the walks, about 3 walks per 9, but that's not terrible by any means. You could clean that up a little bit, but 11 strikeouts per 9, that increased. Again, it was 12 starts this year compared to last year, but at the rate he was going, it increased almost a full strikeout. So that's a good sign right there. And the walks did lower from 3.7 to 3.1. So Luis Castillo here, you're getting a guy that has a ton of potential. In his first 4 seasons, he's averaged a 3.62 ERA, a 3.77 FIP, 10 strikeouts per 9. And this is a guy that's just going into his prime. So if you're a team that is really looking to compete, and if you got some prospects available, I think a Luis Castillo could be had. So let's just get right into some possibilities here. Well, actually, no, hold on. Real quick, let's actually take a look at why Luis Castillo is so good. So taking a look, he doesn't give up a lot of exit velocity. Not too many hard hit. He's in the bottom. He's about around halfway in the hard hit percentage, but overall exit velocity not very high. Just all across the board. X slugging, X WOBA. Barrel percentage. Doesn't give up too many barrels. Definitely gets a lot of strikeouts. He is right up there in fastball velocity. He's going to sit mid-90s. He can pump it up. Well, average miles per hour is 97, but he'll sit around 95, 97, and then he can really pump it up even higher than that. The one thing is fastball doesn't have too much spin. So that is one thing where it's not going to have too much life on the ball. So I do wonder about that. I wonder if hitters will maybe start catching on. But where he makes up for that is his pitch repertoire. Changeup. He throws his changeup more often than the four-seam fastball. He has a sinker that he uses a lot. He uses a slider. He mixes these pitches so well. If we were to go take a look at a Luis Castillo, let's take a look at a strikeout here. So taking a look. So I believe this is from 2018. So it was a couple years ago. I mean, the guy has a nasty. He's got a nasty two-seamer right there. Was that actually a two-seamer or was that a changeup? That actually might have been a changeup. I think that was actually a changeup. Let's take another look at a video. Again, was this from 2018? Again, another video from 2018. Also, Baseball Savant, why are your videos so laggy? Look at that. That looked like a sinker. That was a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. Are you freaking kidding me? Let's take a look at one more video. This is from 2020. Okay, why is Baseball Savant, why are you so laggy? I got someone subscribing. XXSMLGXXM. That's a lot of X's. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. And while I'm at it, if you are here and you have no idea what's going on, hey, we're talking baseball here all the time. So if you are looking for more baseball news, more baseball content, think about hitting that subscribe button. Also, everyone, if you can, hit the thumbs up. And if you don't like my face, you can hit the thumbs down as well. Here, let's get back to this video real quick. So Luis Castillo from the stretch here, that looked like a changeup. I don't think that's his sinker. His sinker is a lot harder than that. Look at the changeup here. That's nasty. It's like a 90-mile-an-hour changeup. Woo! Just drops. Like, are you kidding me? Luis Castillo's the real deal. And I felt like going in the last couple of years, he hasn't gotten too much attention. I mean, goodness gracious. If we take a look here, a lot of his pitches rank really well on vertical movement. He's got a slider that ranks, pretty good. Is 35.8 inches of drop. If you take a look here, the red, that means, he ranks higher. And then blue, you're kind of ranked lower. So, four-seamer, again, not too much life on his four-seam fastball, so you're going to see blue here. But again, the sinker averaged pretty well when it came to inches of drop. Changeup was a pretty good pitch among the league. This guy is the real deal. And that was only over 12 starts. Imagine giving him, the full 32 start season. This is a guy where, give him some more time to build some momentum. Who knows? Maybe he makes a run at some Cy Young consideration by the end of the year. So, unfortunately, he was on the same team as a Trevor Bauer. So, what are you going to do about that? But overall, Luis Castillo, he is the real deal. So let's take a look here. I'm going to go over a few trade options. So the first one, I wanted to kind of do a fun one. Personally, of course, my Red Sox could use some pitching. However, do I think a trade is really possible with the Red Sox? I'm going to say no, because the Red Sox, it is possible, but I don't know if Chaim Bloom is going to want to do that. I was able to come up with this trade. Again, it's not very good. Would the Red Sox love to have a guy like a Luis Castillo? Absolutely. That guy would be right there at the top of the rotation. You got him, Chris Sale, Eduardo Rodriguez, or Chris Sale eventually when he comes back. That would be an awesome starting three in the top in that rotation. And then you mix in some other guys that have some potential as well. That could be really good. However, I don't think the Red Sox are going to be able to do it. But I did put together this trade. Probably not going to happen. To be honest, there's really not much the Red Sox can do. This is what the Red Sox would most likely have to do. A Rafael Devers and Alex Verdugo, a Jeter Downs. But even then, Rafael Devers, they already got Suarez over there at third, so that's not really going to work. Devers has the most value on that team. Well, or I think second most value. Verdugo, young outfielder, he would fit well in Cincinnati. Jeter Downs, he's on the cusp of possibly getting to the major leagues. That could be a good fit for him. Overall, though, Rafael Devers, I mean, where are you going to put him? Unless you were able to deal a Suarez. I don't know. Again, this trade definitely probably not going to happen. Would I love Luis Castillo on the Red Sox? Absolutely I would. Yeah, Jackson, I get you, but I'm pointing this out just because a team like the Red Sox that needs starting pitching, this is probably not going to happen because and this is really all the Red Sox can do for a guy like Luis Castillo. So that just shows probably the Red Sox are not going to be in the conversations whatsoever, even though they do need starting pitching. And this is a cost-controlled guy, but the Red Sox, they just don't have the resources for it. So let's actually get into some realistic trade options. I actually had a lot of fun with this one today, going on baseballtradevalues.com. Because how is it not fun? You got a guy with a ton of value. You can throw in all these great prospects, some young major league talent. That's just fun. I really enjoyed putting together some of these trades. So let's take a look. Again, I showed the Red Sox one as my first one, but that's probably not going to happen. So let's get into some realistic ones. So let's take a look. First one, Luis Castillo going to the Blue Jays. And as you can see here, it's going to take a lot to get a Luis Castillo. Going to take a lot. And every trade is going to be, pretty much every trade is going to be similar to this. You have to understand with the Luis Castillo, one of the better pitchers in the league. He's 27, 28 years old. I mean, he's got a few years left of control. He's already someone that could go slot right into a playoff rotation. You're going to have to give up a lot for him, so I want you all to be prepared because there's going to be some massive trades coming up here in the next however long it takes to do this. But for this trade, the Blue Jays, this is something where maybe you could part with the Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's still pretty young. The Reds do need some offense. He could fit well out there, and that would give the Blue Jays an opening in the outfield to maybe go after someone like a George Springer. They would have to give up a Jordan Groshans. Most likely, the Reds, they could use a shortstop prospect. Jordan Groshans, he could fit that. Simeon Woods Richardson, that's a young, talented pitcher in the minor leagues, and Alek Manoah is the same. So really, the major league ready guy that you would be getting here for the Blue Jays, from the Blue Jays, would be a Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Just realized that is not spelled correctly, but with Luis Castillo going to the Blue Jays, this would be a guy where that would really elevate that Blue Jays pitching staff. You'd have a Luis Castillo, a Hyun-Jin Ryu. That's pretty good. That's a really good 1-2 punch, and that would be very competitive in that American League East. So let's go pull up that trade real quick so you can see the numbers, you can see the values. Blue Jays, here we go. So this is the trade. As you can see here, it's funny enough, according to baseball trade values, the Reds are not even getting all of the value from Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo has a value of 114.80, while this package has a value of 103.30. Sure, you can maybe throw in one more piece, but would the Blue Jays want to do that? The Blue Jays seem very motivated this offseason. I feel like maybe they're more motivated in the free agent market. But could they pull off a trade for a Luis Castillo? That is definitely possible. It's definitely possible. They'd have to give up a lot. They'd have to give up a very good hitter in Gurriel Jr., but that would open the door for them to maybe bring in a George Springer. Or someone else on the free agent market. You'd get a couple of good pitching prospects, and you get Groshans, possibly your future shortstop. So that's pretty much, I mean, there's some other possibilities here. If I were to pull up, here to go. If we go here, let's do Blue Jays first. Let's see. And Blue Jays, they got a great farm system, man. So that another thing that you're going to see a similarity with is really, I mean, sure, Luis Castillo would fit really well on a lot of teams. Pretty much any team, Luis Castillo would be a good fit. There would be an argument where Luis Castillo would be a great fit on any team, except for the Pirates, because the Pirates don't really exist. But however, the teams that would be able to get this done are teams that have a good farm system, a deep farm system, and teams that have young major league ready players. So that is pretty much, you're not just going to see him just go to like any random team. So with the Blue Jays, if you take a look here at some of these guys, they're not going to part with a Bo Bichette. He's off limits. Vlad Jr. off limits. I don't think they would do an Austin Martin, who they just drafted out of Vanderbilt. I feel like they really like him. They saw him drop to them in the draft at the number 5 spot. Are they really going to want to part with basically a gift of what they got in an Austin Martin? I don't know. Here we go. If I pull up Luis Castillo, as you can see, Luis Castillo, by far the most valuable player on that Reds team, and for good reason. So again, if you're kind of looking here, if you're playing around, I mean, I don't know if you would deal a Pearson. I mean, could you? I mean, maybe you could maybe deal a Nate Pearson. I don't think they would want to do that, but I mean, there's a lot of options here. You could do, I mean, Groshans, Gary Out Jr., Woods Richardson, where I had Alek Manoah. I mean, you could put one more player in here, maybe like a Geraldo or something, and then like right there, I mean, you're pretty close at this point. Would the Blue Jays want to give up this big of a package? I don't know. I mean, but the one thing with Groshans is, or is it Groshans? Groshans? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But the one thing with Groshans is he can play. He's listed as a shortstop right now, but he could also slide over to third at some point. So it's not like he is just completely blocked in Toronto. I know Bo Bichette, he obviously is the shortstop there, but you could have Groshans eventually slide over to third. So it's not like Groshans is completely blocked there. So, but I don't think it would be too big of a deal to part with him. I mean, maybe you can go out and sign a DJ LeMahieu, and then that kind of covers you for the next 5 years or so. So, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., like I said, that opens up an outfield spot. You could go sign a George Springer. Geraldo, possibly a future third baseman, maybe after Eugenio Suarez, possibly. Alek Manoah, young pitching prospect with Woods Richardson. So I think this would be a really good package to get back if you are the Reds. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you all think? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you think this could be a possibility, and if you think it's a good trade for both sides, or give me a thumbs down if you just don't think this is good. Let me know in the chat. And while you guys are giving me your thumbs ups and thumbs downs, I'll take a look. So yeah, Ryan. You're right. You're right about that. Bo is the shortstop of the future. So I think, like I said, Groshans is expendable. So, like I said, you could have Groshans play third down the road. So, all right, we're seeing a couple of thumbs ups here. Again, this is going to be, no matter what team is going to trade for a Luis Castillo, like, sure, it's fun to speculate about it. It's fun to kind of look at some possibilities. This is going to be a very difficult trade. This is going to take a lot of players. You're going to have a team that has a deep farm system. That is going to be the necessary aspect of a team that you're going to have to deal with. Because you're not going to unload your farm system, especially if it's kind of running thin. And that's where the Red Sox have a problem, is like the Red Sox really can't make this kind of a trade because they don't really have the pieces to do it. So, alrighty, let's move on. So the next trade that I have, again, so looking at teams here, for the most part, teams are going to need to have like I said a couple of times already, you're going to have a deep farm system. You're going to, or have major league ready talent. So let's take a look at the next possibility. We just looked at the Blue Jays, but next up we have the Miami Marlins. Now the Marlins, they have a pretty decent farm system. Luis Castillo, he would just automatically be your ace in that rotation. What a rotation that could be for the future. Luis Castillo, Sixto Sanchez, you got Eliezer Hernandez, I mean, you got an Edward Cabrera possibly down the road. You got a Sandy Alcantara. What a rotation that would be. And then the Reds, they would get a very good package back too. Brian Anderson, Major League ready player. J.J. Bleday. I believe he is their top prospect. Jazz Chisholm and Edward Cabrera. So let's take a look at kind of who these players are. Let's take a look. So the Marlins, I think, automatically could get into the conversation here simply just because they have a pretty good farm system where they have the pieces. Now, would Derek Jeter, would that Derek Jeter and the rest of that front office, would they want to make this kind of a trade? I mean, they're getting some good momentum. They're getting some younger guys starting to come up. Are they going to want to make that kind of a trade? So this is why I have this kind of near the bottom of the list. But let's share my screen so we can kind of see who the Reds would be getting back. So let's take a look. So J.J. Bleday, outfield prospect. You'd be getting Jazz Chisholm, shortstop prospect. Edward Cabrera, right-handed pitcher. So, and then you'd be getting Brian Anderson too. So let's pull up the Brian Anderson stats real quick. So Brian Anderson, 27 years old. Pretty good season last year. Hit 255, had an OPS of 810, 11 homers, 38 RBIs. I mean, pretty good year for Brian Anderson last year. Outfield guy, can just slot right in out there. So, yeah, I mean, that's someone that, major league ready guy, could go back to the Reds. Overall, though, do I think this is going to happen? Probably not. I think the Marlins are, they have good momentum right now, and I think they kind of need to stick to the plan. However, I did want to put them on this list simply just because they do have the pieces to make it happen. I think the Marlins have some really good prospects here. So, and they got some young talent on the Major League roster as well. But, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at here with the Marlins. They are a possibility, like I said, because they have that young talent. So let me know in the chat. I'm seeing a couple of thumbs downs already, but let me know in the chats. Give me a thumbs up if you like this trade, or give me a thumbs down. Here we go. Let me show you the trade one more time. Nope, wrong one. There we go. So what do you guys think? Tell me what you think. Jackson, horrible trade. As someone who likes the team and watches them, that is the worst trade you have ever done. I say remove Anderson, add Monte Harrison. That's a possibility as well. So, and Luis Brinson. Yeah. Overall, though, so another thing, too, I want you all to know is these teams, sure, I'm plugging in some players. I'm not saying, a lot of the times when I'm putting these trade possibilities up here, it's not real. There's a lot of ways you could make it happen. The teams that I'm putting on here, I'm saying are really not exactly the trades that I'm listing, but these teams are good fits. So Luis Castillo, I think, would be a good fit with the Marlins. So again, of course, you can always switch around players. It's just, So don't take so much stock into the players that I'm putting. More focus on kind of the team that I'm having there. And so, yeah, players are so interchangeable. There's so many different ways you can go with players. So, alrighty. Next one. So I saw some thumbs ups. I saw some thumbs downs. I think we can all agree. I think the common ground that we can have is that the Marlins would be a pretty good fit. I think Luis Castillo on the Marlins, that would really elevate them. They had a pretty surprising season this year. They played a lot better than a lot of people expected. A lot of people expected them to be last place. So, and then they ended up making the playoffs and beating the Cubs. I mean, hey, it's a pretty good year if you ask me. And then you get a Luis Castillo. Ooh, that rotation would be nasty. Luis Castillo and Sixto Sanchez. Can you imagine that? Oh, Sean Murphy's stream is lagging. It looks like everything is okay. Looks like everything is good. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get on to the next trade that I came up with. Here we go. So I have done a Red Sox trade that is definitely not going to happen. You can maybe see the Blue Jays get involved. Maybe the Marlins. Probably not with the Marlins. I could maybe see the Blue Jays more. But next up, I have Luis Castillo going to the Twins for a package of Royce Lewis, Alex Killaroff, Randy Dobnak, and Keone Savacco. This one, I think, it's going to be. I think the big piece that the Twins in this specific trade, first off, Luis Castillo would be a fantastic fit with the Twins. Go right there at the top of that rotation. That would be fantastic. Kenta Maeda, Luis Castillo, Jose Barrios. That's really good, if you ask me. But I think the holdup here, I think the Reds in this trade would want an Alex Killaroff. They would want him. Would the Twins want to part with him? That is the question. So Royce Lewis, I feel like he has not been able to really, he's struggled in the majors. Let me actually pull up the Twins farm system here. Give me 1 second. Minnesota Twins, where are you at? Here we go. Sharing the screen. All right, so Minnesota Twins. So Alex Killaroff, this is a guy, he is ready for the majors. He's ready. I believe he debuted in the playoffs. So if we take a look, this is a guy, he's just all around a really good player. 15th pick in the 2016 draft. I believe he played in the playoffs, didn't he? I believe he started. Yeah, and he got a hit too. So, yeah, he is ready for the majors. They're ready to insert him. So I don't think they would want to part with someone like him. I don't think that deal would get done without him, because the Twins, they're not very top heavy. And I think like I said, with these trade possibilities, you are going to need to have some good prospects to be able to send back. And Alex Killaroff, I think he's going to be, without him in this trade, I don't think it gets done. So I don't know if this is going to happen. I think the Twins, he would be a great fit on the Twins if they could figure out how to make it work. But Royce Lewis, he is their top prospect overall. Overall, though, he has really, in 2019, he really stumbled in the minor leagues. Only had a 290 on base. He really fell off. Like, he had a couple of good seasons, 2017, 2018. On base was really good. He hit 14 home runs in 2018, a 292 average, but then something happened in 2019. I believe he started off in Double-A. I could be wrong. Or maybe he moved up to Double-A. I don't fully remember where he started in 2019, but because he ended 2018 in high A ball. So I'm wondering if I think he started in high A ball, I believe. But either way, though, he really stumbled. Overall in 2019, he hit 236, 12 homers, a 290 on base. It was really a lost year for Royce Lewis. And so makes me wonder, would the Twins want to... I think they would be okay with parting with him. The Reds could use a better option at shortstop for the long term. So, could this get done? Maybe. But I think Alex Killaroff is going to be the one that kind of hangs this up. I think the Reds would want him. I mean, who wouldn't want this kind of a guy? But Killaroff, I think, that's good. I think that's going to be the thing that hangs all this up. So let me know what you think in the chat. Do you think this is a good trade? Let me pull that trade back up. So Luis Castillo going to the Twins. And the Reds getting Royce Lewis, Alex Killaroff. I just realized I spelled Killaroff wrong. It's supposed to be 2 L's in Killaroff. Randy Dobnak and Keone Savako. So Dobnak, also I didn't really get into those two. Dobnak, Major League ready starter. Keone Savako, good prospect. He's also a shortstop prospect, but he can play some second base as well. Maybe possibly slide over to third. So, yeah. Where are we at with this trade, everyone? What do you think? Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Derek Jeter, the living legend himself, is in the chat. Everyone, give a round of applause for Derek Jeter. He is here. Thumbs down from Derek Jeter. He doesn't like this. Derek Jeter wants Luis Castillo, so he's giving a thumbs down. Cameron Kirkbride with a thumbs down. Go Red Sox Gaming with a thumbs up. Jake O'Brien, 3-team trade with the Nats, possibly. Could be possible. Could be possible. When you get more teams involved, that's where it starts to get a little confusing. You'd like to just do a straight-up, 2-team trade. Michael Yench, he is vomiting. Someone please give Michael Yench the Pepto-Bismol. Cam Bam. Cam Bam. Oh, no. Do we have the calf neck army in the chat? Maybe I don't think the Mets would be able to get a trade done for Luis Castillo. I don't know. I'd have to maybe go look at that. I don't know. I don't think they have the pieces to get it done. The Mets they just don't have a farm system. I don't think they would be able to get that done. They would have to part with someone like a Pete Alonso. You know, I don't know. I don't think they would get it done. I don't think that's going to happen. So, but maybe the Braves safe 65-17. That is possible as well. I mean, Mindstorm, that's a great thing to say too. I mean, you could, if you're the Reds, I think hanging on to Luis Castillo would be a great move as well. It's Luis Castillo. You got 3 more years left of control. Alrighty. So, Guillermo Hernandez, St. Louis Cardinals. Maybe they could get a trade done. That's possible. So, Brendan, is it sad that I am still a Pirates fan? Hey, Pirates man, if they get Kumar Rocker, they start doing some good drafts in the next few years. Hey, the Pirates, they could be relevant quicker than you know it. So, alrighty, let's move on to the next trade. I believe I'm getting into the top 3 now. So, let's get into number 3 on this list for Luis Castillo. I have Luis Castillo going to the Dodgers for Gavin Lux, Tony Gonsolin, and Michael Busch. This would be insane. If the Dodgers got Luis Castillo to go with a Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, David Price, Julio Urias, oh my. That would be... I think you just say night. Give the Dodgers the World Series at that point. Gavin Lux is very interesting to me. He is someone where I'm not sure what happened with him. What happened with Gavin Lux this year? This was a guy that was supposed to come up and be their second baseman, and you just never heard from him. You never heard from him. What happened with him? So I guess maybe he was kind of struggling with some things, I guess, and I don't know. They just never felt comfortable putting him in. Could you maybe part with a Gavin Lux, who was like the top prospect in all of baseball at one point? I'm not sure what has happened with him. If we go take a look here at Gavin Lux, did he even play this year or this past year? He did play a little. So he only hit 175. He had a 0.7 wins above replacement. I'm guessing his defense was good. Yeah, his defense was good. So, where was he playing? Was he playing a lot of second? So he was playing a lot of second base. So he was playing some good defense out there. But the offense just never materialized at all. So here, let me share my screen. But yeah, a 0.7 wins above replacement, and that's with not really hitting. Only hit 175, a 596 OPS. Granted, it was only 63 at bats. But he had 3 home runs, so the power was there at least. But would the Dodgers possibly part with someone like a Gavin Lux? I wonder. I just think, man. Ryan Jansen, he had COVID. Okay, so that makes sense. So I guess he got off to a bad start. But either way, Gavin Lux, tons of potential in the future. Good grief. If the Reds were able to get someone like a Gavin Lux, but then also you get a Tony Gonsolin. Gonsolin is so interesting. He did terrible in the postseason. He was so bad in the postseason, but he had a really good year. Really good year overall. 46 strikeouts over about 47 innings, over 8 starts, 2.31 ERA. The FIP was really good, a 2.29, but then, which is crazy to me that he got 4th in Rookie of the Year. That's a really good year. He didn't really ever go deep into games, but his postseason stats were miserable. He was so bad in the postseason. NLCS, he pitched in 2 games, a 9.95 ERA, gave up 7 runs over about 6 innings. And he did pitch in the World Series. He started 2 games. And he only pitched a total of 3 innings. He had 2 earned runs, so he did a little better in the World Series. Yeah, it was racking up strikeouts. He had, how many strikeouts here? He had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. So over those 3 innings, good work from him. But overall, he gave up a couple runs. So Tony Gonsolin, maybe you could part with a Tony Gonsolin. If not a Tony Gonsolin, maybe you could go with a Josiah Gray down below on the farm. So if we go take a look here, looking at the Dodgers. So Josiah Gray at the moment is their number 1 prospect. He's at the AA level right now. I don't think he played. Did he come up to? No, I don't think he pitched at all this year with the Dodgers. But 2019, he had 25 starts, a 2.28 ERA, 130 innings pitched. Josiah Gray, that's someone, keep an eye out for him. He could be really good. But then the other guy going back to the Reds in this trade would be Michael Busch. So Michael Busch, I believe, was first round. Yeah, the 31st pick in the first round in 2019. So, this is a guy, he hasn't really played too much as of right now. So he's only had 24 at-bats, and that was in rookie ball and A ball. There's not really much to look at here. He only hit 125, but, what are you going to expect? It was his first year of pro ball. So, but Michael Busch is their number 4 prospect. So in this trade, you would be getting Gavin Lux, who I guess is no longer a top prospect. So, I don't know. But yeah, you would be getting a Gavin Lux in this trade. You would be getting a Michael Busch and a Tony Gonsolin, or maybe a Josiah Gray. That's possible. So there's a lot of, I think the Dodgers, they are a good fit because they have the farm. And they didn't really have to give up a lot for Mookie Betts. They give up Verdugo and Jeter Downs and Connor Wong. The Dodgers are in pretty good shape when it comes to their farm system. So I think they would be comfortable with parting with some guys. Again, could you imagine that rotation with Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Luis Castillo? David Price would be your number 4 in that rotation. I think the Dodgers have the pieces to get it done. So tell me what you think down below in the chat. We got 59 people here right now. What is going on, everyone? So let me know in the chat. Would you give this a thumbs up or would you give this a thumbs down? Luis Castillo to the Dodgers. I think this would be massive. If they did this, that would be crazy. Derek Jeter going with no. Cameron Kirkbride, he doesn't think Gavin Lux is going to live up to the hype. Send him off to Cincinnati. Let's get Luis Castillo while we can. Dobbs, he doesn't want anything to do with the Dodgers. Aaron Bernstein with the thumbs up. Daniel Mastodona, thumbs up from him. Action Jackson, Dodgers already too good. They would be even better. Why not shore up that starting pitching? That starting pitching would be nasty. Oh, my goodness. You might as well just give up. You might as well just give them the trophy. Goodness gracious. But here we go, everyone. So here we go. Let's move on. We're going to get into the top 2 now. Trying to remember, who did I have at number 2? Oh, I know. I remember who I got at number 2. Some of you might be maybe surprised by this. Some of you may be surprised that I have this as number 2. Some of you might think this could be the best place for Luis Castillo to go. My best friend, who I've mentioned a couple of times on this channel, big-time New York Yankees fan, he said, go get Luis Castillo. So I went over to Baseball Trade Values, and I put together a trade, blockbuster trade, Gleyber Torres, Clark Schmidt, Estevan Florial, and Luis Gil. This, to me, would solve some issues on both sides. So, if we take a look here, Luis Castillo, the Yankees really need a number 2. They need a number 2 behind Garrett Cole. Luis Castillo would be the perfect guy for the number 2 spot. However, they would have to part with Gleyber Torres. They would have to part with a Clark Schmidt. However, they would also have to part with an Estevan Florial in this trade and a Luis Gil. Estevan Florial and Luis Gil, those are more lower tier prospects in my opinion. The big ones here are Gleyber Torres and Clark Schmidt. But if you go look at the numbers on Baseball Trade Values, if you take a look, Here, let me pull it up here. So right now, Luis Castillo is worth more than this package the Reds would be getting. He's worth more by 2 points. Now, the thing about this trade is you'd be getting Gleyber Torres. The Reds, they would have their shortstop of the future. They would have their shortstop. With the Yankees, this would clear up a lot of things. This would help the Yankees if they really want to bring DJ LeMahieu back. They could bring him back. They would have a spot now where he can play second. He would have a spot no matter what. However, if you bring a DJ LeMahieu back, but the problem with that is you're going to have to play Gleyber Torres at second. Or if you don't bring LeMahieu back, you would play Gleyber Torres at second, but that would be better. Gleyber Torres is better at second base than he is at shortstop, but if you do bring DJ LeMahieu back, Gleyber Torres would have to stay at short. Gleyber Torres is one of the worst defensive shortstops in this game. He is horrible defensively. This guy has a bat, though, and if the Reds can take him and maybe try and fix something with him defensively, they could always put him at second base too. But with the Yankees, this would open up, some possibilities where if you trade away Torres, then that opens up shortstop. You could bring in someone like a Andrelton Simmons, maybe a Marcus Semien, but you would have to imagine if you get rid of Torres, you'd have to imagine they would bring DJ LeMahieu back at that point, because what are you going to get rid of both of them? So in this trade, though, I think what the Yankees really need, they need a number 2 guy behind Garrett Cole. They need someone else behind Garrett Cole. Luis Castillo here would be so good. Oh my God. Luis Castillo and Garrett Cole in the playoffs. What a 1-2 punch that would be. Yeah, you'd have to get rid of Clark Schmidt. Yeah, that would be a bit of a tough pill to swallow. He has a lot of potential. So, Florial Gil, I think you can stomach losing them. Florial has never really been able to get into that major league roster, really. He's just been blocked. Gil, pretty good, a decent pitching prospect. If we go take a look, New York Yankees farm system. So Clark Schmidt is number 2 at the moment. Florial is number 7. Gil is where is Gil? Gil's number 5. So you'd have to get rid of your number 2, your number 5, and your number 7 prospect with Gleyber Torres. So this package, I know it might seem, whoa, we got something happening. Someone just dropped a super chat. Joker's Deadly Gaming donated $3. Thank you so much, my friend. Andujar, Frazier, Gil, Abreu, and maybe some cash. Well, why not? Let's plug it in. Hey, I appreciate the $3 donations. He said Andujar, Frazier, Gil, and Abreu. So let's go take a look. Here we go. Reds, Yankees. Right. So let's take a look at how that kind of works out on here. So here we go. I think we're gonna fall short with that trade. I think that's I don't know if that's gonna get very close, but whatever. Let's go take a look. This will just show how valuable Castillo is. So taking a look at Frazier. Here we go. Frazier. So you said Andujar. I think you said Abreu too. So is that the right Abreu? I don't see any other Abreus. So Andujar, Gil. I think this is going to be really far away. I think it's going to be a little far apart. Oh, no. Yeah, we're a little far apart here, man. I don't know if this is going to work. I like Andujar a lot, but he really lost a lot of value this past year. He had the injury. He just never got a spot back, unfortunately. I think Andujar still has potential to have a really good few years in the major leagues. He could have a good career, but he got blocked by Gio Urshela. So they're very far apart here, as you can see. Very far apart. This is not going to get it done, unfortunately. However, if we, let's take a look again. What else could the Yankees give up here? So, is there a way to just get rid of these guys? Darn it. How do I get rid of these? Let me just refresh the screen. Start over. Here we go. So, Yankees. Again, if the Yankees were able to pry away this guy, oh my God. That would, as a Red Sox fan, I would basically give up for the next 3 years. So, here we go. Reds. Okay. Luis Castillo. And then for the Yankees. So, if you take a look here, Gleyber Torres by far has the most value on that team. So, it would, you could put something together. Maybe a Davy Garcia. I don't know. Let's just say Clark Schmidt. Let's just stick with Schmidt. Yankees don't want to get rid of him. Maybe a Montgomery. Do you part with a Jason Dominguez? Ugh. As you can see here, we're maybe like a couple players away. I don't know. Here, Herman had the domestic abuse stuff. Here, you got to take Herman. Frazier. Actually, that's more value. So Dominguez. I don't know. If you're the Yankees, I don't know if you get rid of Dominguez. Let's take Dominguez off. And let's put. Voit? No. I don't know. That's tough. We already have Schmidt. See, this is where it gets tough, man, because it's like, well, what players could you really put in here? So, I feel like if it's not going to be Torres, you're going to have to part with Dominguez. I don't know. Maybe Herman, take him out. Maybe Peraza. And there you go. I think you're pretty close here. This is a lot. This looks ridiculous on paper. That just looks ridiculous. The Yankees wouldn't do this. I don't think they would do this. You'd be giving up a possible future stud in Jason Dominguez. Clint Frazier, I think they would be okay with parting with. Montgomery, a major league ready starter. Schmidt, your top pitching prospect. And Peraza, a shortstop prospect. Yeah, Lee G, I agree. Yankees fans would be furious if you part with Dominguez. But I think if it's either going to be, but if you take a look, that's why, look at how much value Torres has. 73. That's a lot. And then, so now you can get rid of a Dominguez in this trade. I don't know, maybe whatever. Maybe you can part with Montgomery. Why not? Let's keep Schmidt. And then you can take out Frazier. And there you go. Maybe you can do Torres, Montgomery, and Peraza. That's actually pretty close. I don't know. What do you think about this one, everyone? I think this is actually pretty good. Well, I don't know. With Montgomery, though, he's the same age. So why would they want Montgomery? I don't know if they would want Montgomery. They're getting rid of Castillo. They want prospects. So they're not going to they don't want Montgomery. They would get a future stud in Torres. So that's the big piece here. I guess they don't need Peraza, actually, because he's a shortstop. You could plug him in at second. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways this could go. If you're the Yankees, I think you got to at least kick some tires, M. Kuda, I think trading Torres would be crazy. But that's what it would take, or it could very well take a Gleyber Torres. Luis Castillo's no joke, man. That's a good pitcher. Really good. If you can get a Luis Castillo, it could definitely cost you someone like a Gleyber Torres. I don't know, maybe you just did Torres and just Torres and Schmidt. You're still a little far apart on that. But I don't know, do you get it done there? Probably not. Well, the thing with Gleyber Torres is, again, the defense is just so bad. And he's so young still. You can work with him. I don't know, though. If you're the Yankees, what do you need? Do you need starting pitching? You need a guy to go behind Garrett Cole. That is what you need. I think without Torres, I still think they would have a good team. You could bring DJ LeMahieu back. Get someone else to play short. I think you'd be okay. You get an Andrelton Simmons to play short. DJ LeMahieu, he comes back. Now you got a starting pitcher for behind Garrett Cole, for number 2. I think this, I don't know. I think this could end up being a really good guy for the Yankees to get. So let me know in the chat. Do you think this is a possibility of the Yankees getting a Luis Castillo, or do you think no way? Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. I'm seeing a yes from Derek Jeter, the legend himself. Andrew Lee, the Padres are a possibility. I mean, would they? I mean, I don't know. They just gave up a boatload of prospects for Clevenger. Are they going to want to give up all their other prospects too? They got Mackenzie Gore coming up soon. So I don't know. Do they think it's even worth it? Sam Ty loves it. 4 thumbs up from Sam Ty. I'm seeing some thumbs downs. I think I'm seeing more thumbs downs. Joshua Ramos, I'll do a Padres one here in a second. I'm going to go over... all right, fine. You know, I'll do the Padres one first. I'll do a Padres first. And then I'll go to my number 1. All right, so... Oh, wait, no. I wanted Reds and Padres. Reds. Here we go. So, whoops. Here we go. Castillo. Could you imagine the Padres getting Luis Castillo? Insane. Yep. Tatis Jr. is not even available for a trade. He's that good. All right. So maybe, I mean, right away when I think of the Reds, they need shortstops. Abrams. That's the first guy that I think. Abrams and Paddock. Bam. Right there. I think that's it. I don't know. Does that get it done? Would that get it done? That is close. Derek Jeter likes it. Go Red Sox Gaming likes it. I mean, you could do if you don't want Paddock, do Patino. Abrams and Patino. That'd be interesting. Maybe instead of Patino, you can do a couple of lower tier guys. Maybe Robert Hassel, Morahan, and Weathers. I think you're still a little far apart there, but that's a lot of young guys right there. Maybe instead of Hassel, maybe, I don't know. I think you're getting a little tricky here. Campusano. Well, the Reds already have, who is it, Stevenson? So I don't know if they're going to need a catcher. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I think that's kind of what it would sort of take here. You know, you need to add one more player into this. Definitely need to add one more player. I mean, I don't know. Who else can you do here? Baez? I mean, you're still a little apart. 114 to 100. They say it's a minor overpay. So, Padres or the Reds, they would not be getting enough value in return in this. But I think it's either you would do Abrams and a Paddock, or I think Abrams would need to be in this trade. I mean, why not? I mean, you got Fernando Tatis Jr., so why not? I think Abrams, I think he's expendable. Am I missing something there? I mean, you could have Abrams maybe play second, but I'm going blank right now. Padres depth chart. Is it Cronenworth? Who's at second? Oh, yeah, it's Cronenworth. So, yeah, honestly, if you're the Padres, do it. Honestly, get rid of Paddock. Do this trade. Here we go. Paddock. Right there. There's the trade. Take it. Fine. Throw in Baez, too. All right, whatever. Get rid of Baez. There you go. Castillo for Abrams and Paddock. Do that. Why not? Maybe Cronenworth and Paddock. What is Cronenworth's value right now? Really? A 29.5? Really? I think he's a little higher. I don't know. I think he's higher than that. I mean, what do you guys think about this? Reds and Padres, I think that's fun. I mean, you're not giving up a lot. I mean, you're giving up guys where you're replacing Paddock in the rotation with Castillo. And, all right, you're having to part with a shortstop prospect. But you already have Cronenworth and Tatis Jr. I think this, I don't know. I think this works. Would the Reds want Paddock? What is Paddock making right now? I know he's still far away from free agency. I mean, yeah, do that. I mean, you get a shortstop of the future. I don't know. Or do it the other way around. You can get a few other prospects instead of Paddock, I guess. I don't know. I think that's pretty good. Let me actually get rid of these. Okay, so, but yeah, Chris Paddock. Put him in the trade. And I think you might have something here. So, but yeah. Everyone, what do you think? Sam Ty, he likes it. I think it's a pretty simple trade, honestly. But alrighty, everyone, let's move on. We're going to go to number one. Number one on this list. This is a bit of a fun one, but I also think this team has never made a big trade like this. But they have the pieces. They just lost someone in free agency. I don't know. I mean, there's been one other guy who's been on the trade block. I don't know. I think this is fun. This team has the pieces to get it done. At number one, I have Luis Castillo going to the Rays for Willy Adames, Vidal Brujan, Diego Castillo, and Nick Bitsko. Oh my goodness. If the Rays got Luis Castillo, that starting pitching would be insane. Kira, Jackson is calling for you, Kira. Where are you? Kira, the Rays are here in this trade. Well, I am talking about the Rays, Kira. You better be here. This trade would be, I think this is a pretty even trade. I think with the Reds here, you're getting a young shortstop. You're getting a future top of the lineup kind of guy in a Vidal Brujan, a Diego Castillo for the bullpen. The Rays are always finding guys to swap out in the bullpen. Always. They'll find someone else to take over Diego Castillo. And Nick Bitsko, someone that they just drafted. I think this would be a great package. The Rays would get a top of the rotation kind of a guy. You could have Blake Snell. You would have a Luis Castillo. You would have a, I'm going completely blank. Oh my God, why am I going blank on his name? What, oh my God, I'm going so blank on his name right now. I cannot remember his name. Tyler Glasnow. Why the frick could I not remember that? Yeah, Ryan Yarbrough there too. Jesus, that was driving me nuts. I could not remember the name Tyler Glasnow. I yelled about Tyler Glasnow for how many times during those playoffs, and I couldn't remember his name. Either way, but could you imagine that rotation? Luis Castillo, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Yarbrough, and Josh Fleming at the back of that rotation? I mean, come on. That would be really good. Let me come back to you here. Wrong one. Here we go. So, actually, no, I want to share the screen. Here we go. But here is the trade. So the Reds, I think this actually might be the closest one when it comes to the values on here. So it's 114.80 to 115 on the dot. This would be, I think, a great package. Because another thing, too, with Brujan, let me pull up their prospects. So, Brujan is the number 3 prospect in their system right now. He, more of a second baseman than a shortstop. This guy is uber athletic. He's got a 70 run grade, which is top of the line. Not too much power. He's more of like look at the hit tool, 60 hit tool. Great in the field, good arm. I mean, just not really much with the power, but as we all know, in today's day and age, the power could definitely come around. So, but he's a really uber athletic guy from the Dominican Republic, the number 3 prospect right now. But the one thing with the Rays is they already have Brandon Lau. So they have a second baseman already. So Vidal Brujan could go to the Reds and really flourish out there. And then the other guy they would be getting, well, you'd be getting Willy Adames and Diego Castillo. So let me pull up Willy Adames. So a shortstop that the Reds need. So this year hit .259 with 8 home runs, had an .813 OPS. So that was his 3rd season. Willy Adames would be a solid guy at shortstop for the Reds. And the other guy going back to, actually, no, let's pull up Diego Castillo. This guy was just lights out this year. Even in the playoffs, he was really good. He had a 1.66 ERA. This right here, they just traded away Raisel Iglesias, so they need a closer. Diego Castillo can come right in. THP Knob. Let me take a look at Adames's home and away splits. Let's take a look. Let me go back. So Diego Castillo, he could be their closer. Taking a look at the splits for his career or for 2020. I'll look at both. So 2020, home and away. Oh, what the heck? What was that? Ugh, he was horrible at home. Why was he so bad at home? Why? I don't understand this. He was so... Well, there you go. That just, validates, this trade even more. He doesn't hit well at Tropicana Field. Send him off to Cincinnati. He'll play well there. So right there, Willy Adames, he's got to play somewhere else. So right there, why not? Willy Adames, shortstop for the Reds. And then the other guy, Nick Bitsko. They just drafted him. So, but he's out of high school. He was the 24th overall pick. Again, out of high school, not really too much scouting with him. Maybe the Reds want to take a chance on him. So I think this is a really good package. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, because I came up with the trade, but I like this trade. I think it's a good trade. Rays are getting a top-of-the-line starting pitcher. That's what the Rays are really going to have to rely on. They need starting pitching. They definitely need some offense, absolutely. So Willy Adames, that would be a bit of a blow. I mean, Brujan, I think they can definitely survive trading away Brujan. Bitsko, it's like they basically never even had him. And then Castillo, they always find all these other guys to come in for the bullpen. So tell me what you think of this trade. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Tell me what you think in the chat. Derek Jeter, good but not great. I'll take that. I think that's okay. I'll take that. What do we think? Go Red Sox Gaming. You think it's a good trade? Here we go. I'll actually pull it up one more time. I know it's there, but I like showing off these little colors here. Yeah, Sam Ty. Oh, we're getting a bit of lag. There we go. Back on now. So we're seeing thumbs ups. Nelson with the thumbs up. Aaron Bernstein. Nope, don't like that trade for the Reds. I can respect that. Derek Jeter. I mean, yeah, that Padres trade was actually... I was actually kind of surprised with that Padres trade, to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be that simple. But I think the Padres actually might be a lot closer than people think. So, make a monster Reds trade with Castillo, Suarez, and Gray. Let's go have some fun. Let's go do this. Here we go. Can we make this work? Let's go see. Here we go. Sharing the screen. I mean, these 3 guys have been on the trade block. Sonny Gray, Eugenio Suarez, and now Luis Castillo. So can we maybe do an insane trade with those 3? I don't think it's possible. Don't think that's possible, honestly. I think that's too much. Who could even do that? Well, you know what? Here, I have an idea. Let's stick with the Rays. Let's stick with the Rays. I don't think they're not going to have the money for it, though. Here we go. Hold on. Whatever. Let's just do it. Okay, Castillo, Gray, and Suarez. Holy crap, we got a lot of value to make up here. Okay, here we go. For the Rays, okay, first guy I'm getting rid of, Wander Franco. Automatically. Automatic, Wander Franco. Okay, we need 60. Okay. So let's do Brujan and Bitsko and Fleming. There we go. This is not going to happen. There's no way that happens because the Rays are not going to be able to pay for Gray or Suarez. So, I mean, you could do Glasnow as well. Derek Jeter, that's possible too. Goodness gracious. I think that actually might be too much. Go Reds. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you're actually overpaying at this point. Wander Franco and Tyler Glasnow for these three. Could you imagine? Goodness gracious, but that's not going to happen. What's a team that could do this? What is a team that could do this? When I think about it, a team that could use a third baseman, the Dodgers. Could the Dodgers do it? Let's go take a look at the Dodgers. Could they? Oh, nope. Here we go. All right. The Dodgers got the money. They could pay these guys. Here we go. So Gray, Suarez, and there we go. Okay, now the Dodgers, what the heck are they going to have to part with? They're parting with Lux. He's going to be in that. Dustin May. Goodness. God, dude, why even do this at this point? No way. They're not going to part with Dustin May. Nope. I don't like that. Okay, Gonsolin, Gray. Still so far apart. I don't know. They're not going to get this done. Nope. I don't see it happening. That's too much. I don't think there's no way there's no way. There's no way a team would take on all three. There's no way. I mean, Gray and Suarez do have good contracts. I'll say that. Jeremiah, the Twins? Let's check out the Twins. I don't think the Twins could do this. No, they don't. They don't have the value for it. Who has a really good farm system? I'm trying to think. Who has a good farm system but has the money? Let's see. MLB best farm systems. Okay, these are the midseason rankings. So, I mean, number one was the Rays. That's why I think the Rays, they have the prospects to get it done. The Tigers? Could the Tigers do it? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't want him. He's not a good fit there right now with their timeline. The Mariners? No. White Sox? Blue Jays? I mean, well, okay, let's check out the Blue Jays. Can the Blue Jays get a trade done? I mean, Blue Jays need a third baseman. They need starting pitching. I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, this actually matches up need-wise. They need a third baseman, and they need starting pitching. So, here we go. Castillo, Gray, and Suarez. Can the Blue Jays get this done? Oh. Austin Martin would have to be in that trade. Nate Pearson would have to be in this trade. Groshans would have to be in this trade. We're actually getting kind of close. But do you want to give up this? Oh, my God. You're giving up. God. Like, do you give up all of these guys? Toronto Blue Jays. So you'd be giving up your 1, 2, and 3, your top 3 prospects in this trade. And then you'd have to give up more. I don't think it's going to happen. Woods, Richardson, and Martinez. That's not going to happen. There's no way. I don't see the Blue Jays parting with their top 3 prospects to get. I mean, Castillo's good. Suarez is, they're all good. But do you want to part with your future like that? I don't know. Baseball Productions. We can go take a look at the Giants. Oh, I see a super chat from Jeremiah. Oh, hello, Jeremiah. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. The Astros. We can maybe check out the Astros. That's possible. All right, so I'll go take a look at the Astros, and I'll go take a look at the Giants. So, I'm just gonna go back to Castillo. I don't think any team is gonna be able to do that. There's no way. That's too much. That would be hellacious, though. Could you imagine? Holy crap. Could you imagine? That would be insane. I don't think that's going to happen. But, yeah, the Giants definitely could take on Castillo. So, let's focus back on Castillo. Oh, wait, hold on. Giants. Okay, Reds. Giants. Okay, so the Giants have a good farm system. So they have some pieces. There you go. Luciano. Right there. Bart. I mean, they just said Posey's going to be the guy. Yastrzemski. No, you won't get rid of Yastrzemski. How funny would that be if you put Yastrzemski and the Red Sox had Carl Yastrzemski waving the ball waving the ball fair against the Reds, and Yastrzemski ends up on the Reds? That'd be funny. I don't know. Do the Giants have enough to get this done? I mean, you could do Bart. Actually, yeah, that's actually pretty close. So I think if you're the Giants, I think you would want Stevenson. If you're gonna get Giants, if you're gonna get rid of Bart, I think you want a catcher in return. So then the Reds, they would get one more piece. I don't know, someone like a Logan Webb. That's not bad. I don't know. I mean, some of you might not agree with that, but something like that. Castillo and Stevenson for Bart, Luciano, and Webb. I mean, I don't know. Pretty good. I think that's kind of what you're going to have. I think if you're the Reds and if you're talking with the Giants, you're going to have to part with Luciano, their top prospect. Well, Bart is their top prospect, but Luciano's right behind him. So, oh no, the calf neck army is here. Alrighty, but here we go. Let me go to the Astros for Jeremiah. Thank you again for the $2 super chat. Astros and Reds. Can the Astros get this done? Here we go. Castillo to the Astros. Interesting. All right, so, okay, let's go to the Astros farm system. I know they don't have too much of a farm system. They got Forrest Whitley. That could definitely be the centerpiece for the Astros at least. Yordan Alvarez maybe? Kyle Tucker? They need outfielders. I mean, Yordan Alvarez wouldn't fit because you got Joey Votto, and it's in the National League. Correa? That's still so far apart. But Correa's going to be hitting free agency soon. So, or actually, no, hold on. I got to take off Stevenson. No, I don't want to, no. So, with the Astros, you'd have to give up, they need about 60 more points. Valdez? Do you give up a Valdez? I mean, you're kind of close there. But Correa, I don't know about Correa. I mean, Correa? You know, I think, how far away is Correa from free agency? And what is Correa going to be making in arbitration? So, I don't know. What is Correa making? Carlos Correa. Contract. So he's going to be making $8 million. So they would actually be taking on salary here. So they wouldn't do Carlos Correa. So they're trying to get rid of salary. So, well, in this case, would they add on a little salary to get some prospects? But I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right here. I think this would be kind of tough for the Astros to get this done. So, yeah, I don't know. Either way, there's a lot of possibilities out there for a Luis Castillo. We're going to start wrapping it up here. But Luis Castillo, again, on the trade block, will he get traded? I don't know. I think that's going to be really difficult to part with him. And if you're the Reds, are you really that motivated to get rid of a Luis Castillo? I don't know. I just don't think that is something. If you're the Reds, I mean, sure, yeah, you're motivated to get some prospects. If you are really motivated to reset and kind of just start fresh, I don't know. But if you're more doing like a retool, I don't think you get rid of a Luis Castillo. That's just my opinion. So, but there are possibilities out there. I'll go through these one more time. Definitely not my Red Sox. They're not going to do it. They could definitely use a Luis Castillo, but they're not going to have the pieces to get it done. Blue Jays, they have the pieces to get it done. That's possible. The Marlins, they got the pieces. Will they do it? I don't know. Twins, they could make it happen possibly. The Dodgers would be hellacious if they got this done. Oh my. Watch out for that. The Yankees could really use a Luis Castillo. That would be insane. But overall, oh my. Luis Castillo on the Tampa Bay Rays, that would be insane. You get him for 3 years. That's the one problem. If you are the Rays, that's one thing I guess you have to think of if you're the Rays. You're only going to have him for 3 years. There's no way you're going to pay him. So, do I see the Rays doing this? Probably not. But I could definitely see a team like the Dodgers doing this. I could definitely see a team like the Yankees doing this. So, the Rays would be fun. Do they value these prospects? Or would they value a Luis Castillo for 3 seasons, basically, over these 4 guys? Probably not, but that would be fun. So, but yeah, the knob, I agree with you. 3 years is a solid amount of time, considering kind of where they're at timeline-wise. So, but everyone, that's all I got for tonight. We talked a lot about Luis Castillo tonight. We've been here for about an hour and a half. That's a lot longer than I thought we were going to be. So, everyone, have a great night. It is a Sunday night. Usually I don't stream on Sunday nights, but I appreciate you coming out tonight. Tomorrow, hopefully there's some baseball news. I usually like to come on Monday nights. So definitely be back here tomorrow night. Again, if you are here and you have yet to hit that subscribe button, well, what are you waiting for? We got baseball news and baseball content here all the time. So hit that subscribe button if you are looking for those things. Hit that thumbs up for me before I get out of here. That's really going to help this stream get out to more people. And as always, if you don't like my face, you can hit the thumbs down too. So everyone, have a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.